Hey guys, this is What Time Is It Gaming. You know what time it is. It's game time. Today, we're going to go through the Northern Realms Witcher deck in Gwent. This is one of the top decks right now, and I'll show you my deck. Feel free to take it, steal it, use it. It's fine. Swap cards in and out. That'll be great. If you like this video, please subscribe down below. Please like the video and share it so other people can play with this awesome deck. As well, I also recommend you go to playgwent.com, playgwent.com, playgwent.com. Go at the top, you hit decks. There's like every single freaking deck you could possibly think of from every faction. They've got the top ranked decks. You can go there, get ideas, and check out whole decks. So if you're really into Gwent or you're casual and you like it, but you want to switch things up, check out some of my other videos with the decks that I played with. Go to that website. There is a lot of info out there, and there's a lot of combinations that you can use. But for this deck right here, the Northern Realms Witcher deck, you're going to use the leader ability Uprising. It boosts 3 units one time. So you have 3 charges. You can use them all at once. You can use them at different moments during different rounds. When it's all spent, you get a Lyrian Scytheman. This guy, there's actually 2 in the deck right now. He boosts himself for 1 for each boosted ally. So if you only have the 3 boosted, he'll get +3. But this deck does a lot of boosting. So most likely you're going to get a lot more of boosts for him. We use the stratagem, the Crystal Skull. The stratagem, if you're not very familiar, is kind of like a boost, a little advantage. You actually start with tactical advantage. The first player who goes, just randomly decided, gets one. This one's been used a lot. Right now, it's being used a lot. These are the other ones. You can unlock them, switch them out, try them. And then we have the actual deck. So we'll start at the bottom. You've got Radovid's Royal Guards. You have the Lyrian Scytheman that we talked about. You have 2 of them. The Griffin Witcher Adept, 2 of them. He's super important. We'll get back to all their specials later. You've got the Kaedweni Knight, new target practice, Griffin Witcher. You've got Griffin Witcher Mentor, Boiling Oil, which is like a trademark Northern Realms warfare card. You've got Berengar, Selective Mutation, Lambert, Vesemir, Eskel. You've got Leo, John Natalis, Keldar, Geralt Quen, Geralt of Rivia, Vesemir Mentor, Erland of Larvik, and the special and always fun Amphibious Assault. Now, first thing, this deck is great because if you need these cards, most of them will be in over here, the Way of the Witcher expansion, and a lot of them are going to be in the base cards or the starter deck. Many of these Witchers are neutral, so if you're trying to buy, barrels and stuff, you can get them in either those, the ultimate, or even a neutral, because a lot of the Witchers are neutral. So remember that if you're trying to get them. My recommendation is if you have scraps, craft them. Especially some of the annoying ones. It could take a while to get the higher end ones in certain places. But it's up to you. Now, the idea of this deck basically is to boost Witchers, and then they boost each other, as well as this Griffin Witcher Adept, you can see, transforms a base copy of another card into a base copy of itself. So let's say you throw out, Lambert, he's level 3, he'll transform him into a level 4 of himself. Now, the Witcher cards recently with the Way of the Witcher were added with a caveat, a special called Adrenaline. It's what they need to use their special, basically. These guys have been there since the beginning of the game, and used to throw them out, and then it would summon the other 2. I guess they decided that was a little unfair, so now you have to wait for Adrenaline 4. What that means is Adrenaline is how many cards you're holding. So 4 or less cards, and they will take care of that for you. You throw out Eskel, and you don't have Vesemir or Lambert in your hand, they're in your deck, they will pop out. So you basically have thrown out a 9 power instead of just a 3, which is nice. But always be very careful and watch what the things are and when you have them, because when you play them is super important. and getting those little extra benefits from some of the things that these guys have can change the outcome of the game. So, let's see, where were we? So again, the Griffin Witcher is super important, and he's gonna be synergistic to other cards that throw out lower things. So again, these guys, he only does Witcher, so like things like John Natalis, the Lyrian Scytheman, and the Radovid's Royal Guards. If they're 3, they're not going to matter. But you have things like Keldar. Keldar spawns a Witcher student every time that you play a Warfare card. That's what Resupply is. Or if there's 4 or less cards in your hand, he automatically spawns it at the end of your turn. As well as Warfare, very important. Boost an ally by 4, and if there's a Witcher in the row, it spawns Witcher student. Witcher students are super important. Selective mutation does it as well. It puts one in each row, and you can choose a card, which is awesome. Basically, you want those out there so this guy can transform them into him. And if they're 2 and then 4, each time you're gaining 2. Plus, he has a shield and they get a shield, so enemies can't really damage them. They can do other statuses, which is why this Crystal Skull is important. You can always throw that on one of them as well, because it is an order, so he does need a turn to actually have the transform button, the order activated. The other thing about this deck, besides, you know, the Witcher Adept, which is very important, is the ability of these other cards to boost each other. So you have like Vesemir here, he boosts all the Witchers, and if there's 5 or less cards in your hand, he boosts the Witchers in your hand and your deck. You have Erland of Larvik, he boosts all units in your deck, not just Witchers, all units. His order is if you want to basically, he takes all the boosts off of them and puts them on himself, so he could be very powerful. Let's see who else. You've got Leo, who boosts himself for 1 of each Witcher that you have out. So if you got, you know, 10 Witchers out, he's going to boost himself by 10. As well as you've got the Lyrian Scytheman. You've got the one from your leader ability, and you have 2 more. So for every boosted person, these guys get a boost when they get deployed. So I mean, you're trying to get the most out of your people with the boosts there. Now, the other, that's kind of the second part. First part's Witcher Adept. Second part is being able to boost a whole bunch and really push up your numbers to, you know, point your enemy. And then the other version is you really need, the third part of this is you really need, in case you have a bad hand, people that can grab other cards or discard cards in your hand. So you have things like Geralt Quen here. You know, he plays a Witcher. You can use him at any time. He's got a shield. It's really good. And the Witcher Adept can transform him because he's only got 2 power to 4. But if you do with 3 or less cards, you can see the Adrenaline here. He will give it a shield. I mean, you have cards like the Griffin Witcher Mentor, where you draw the top card and then you put one away. You have things like Selective Mutation, where if you draw a card with Adrenaline, and then you shuffle 1 card back into your deck. So you really need these cards in case you have a crappy hand to be able to really push forward and get what you need, and in that way you can you know, get the victory. As well as, you know, don't forget your boiling oil. Don't forget that you have Geralt of Rivia here to do some damage on the other side if they've stacked more than 9 on an enemy. So you have a little damage that you can deal as well. Don't forget about John Natalis. He pulls out the Warfare card, so super important because they not only can do damage or give you a boost, they can also, you know, give you that Witcher student, which is important because they give you Witcher student, and anytime you play a Warfare card, Keldar gives you Witcher student. And then the final piece really is Amphibious Assault, which is a Warfare card, so John Natalis can call that as well. But if you have it in your hand, it's got Echo, so when it's done, it goes back to the top of your deck, and you can use it a second time. And any card provision that's under 9, the difference. So if it's 4, you get 5 boost. If it's 5, you get a 4 boost. If it's 6, you get a 3 boost. You know, it gets boosted. And then you can call whatever you want. This is basically a booster, and it grabs whatever cards you need to help you out in that situation. So these cards are this card is very important. My biggest thing with this deck, always double check your original hand, which you should always do. Basically, you want to make sure that, for instance, like you don't have Eskel and Vesemir. There's no point. You want one of them so you can pull out the others. Make sure there's not a lot of doubles and stuff like that. You don't need it. I mean, if you have John Natalis, you don't need, Amphibious Assault, and 2 target practice. You just don't. You can probably narrow it down to the 2 of them, or even get rid of Amphibious Assault because he can pull it out for you, and it's kind of a surprise to your enemy. As well as, don't forget that this is just a template. This is my deck. I use it. It's pretty successful. Like I say all the time, no deck is perfect. You're probably going to lose a quarter to a third percent of, of the time, but the wins is what's going to push you forward. You just keep going. I mean, I'm going to leave this here for a second so you can get a screenshot or write it down if you need to pause it. Now let me scroll it up and you can get the other portion again. Now, again, I said earlier, swap out whatever you want. If this deck doesn't fit your play style exactly how you like it, and let's say you hate this card, you think it's weak, and you don't need another card to pull out any Witchers, swap it out. The game is about customizing your deck. The game is about trial and error. So if you do that, post a YouTube video, put it on playgwent.com, and let us have a look. That's it. That's really the Northern Realms Witcher deck. It's a fantastic deck. If you have any questions, post it in the comment zone, the comments area. I will try to answer them. If you like the video, please subscribe and like the video. And share it to your friends. Share it to someone who likes to play Gwent. Give them a chance to try to build this deck. Try it out. And there's many other factions, but this one is one of my favorites, and it's probably top 3 in the meta right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, please subscribe, please like, and share the video. And I'll see you around next time. Check out the other videos, gameplay of Gwent. We've got Apex, we've got Grifflands. Check it all out. I hope you enjoy. This is What Time Is It Gaming? It's game time, baby.